Hey guys, I'm going to pick up my daughter soon from school, so I thought I would share one of my quicker makeup routines with you guys for when I'm in kind of a rush. I already did my skincare, and then I put on the most important step is your sunscreen. So I did put that on, especially since I started incorporating retinol into my skincare. You definitely want to make sure you're putting on sunscreen anytime you're going out in the sun. Especially when you're using a retinol. So I already did that. And now since I am in a rush, I think I'm going to use just this LYS foundation stick. So I'm going to do that for my foundation today. And I just kind of, do lots of little dabs. And then I will blend it in and see if I want more. So I'll do that and I'll be back. Okay guys, so I just finished blending that in. It looks really pale right now on camera, but it actually is not that pale in real life. And once I add my contour and everything, it will look a lot better anyways. I like using this Makeup by Mario. I think this is the F4 brush. I use this one for my foundation. I have two of these brushes. I use them for my foundation and contour, blush, anything. I really like those brushes. So yeah, I have two of those. Anyways, so I just blended in my foundation. I'm just kind of tapping over it one more time. And now for my next step, I actually like to do concealer first. Because for me personally, I find once I put my contour and blush on, I feel like if I go in with concealer afterwards, it kind of gets a little messy, especially here. So I like to do my concealer first. My favorite concealer actually has been the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. So I'm going to put that right under my eye and on my forehead, right down the middle of my nose. I like to go here, here, and then right down the sides here. And then I'm just going to use the same, if I can find it, the same brush to blend that in. I kind of go in with this bigger part first, especially through here. I like to use this bigger side first. And then normally around like my eyes and along my nose, I will use the smaller end of the brush for that, just because it gets a little closer in, to all the little crevices and everything. So I'm going to use the smaller side and flip it. I'm just kind of dabbing in. And I'm not getting super precise right now with it because once I go back in, before I put the powder on, my setting powder, I always kind of go back in to make sure there's no creases anyways. So I'm kind of just trying to get it semi-rubbed in first. And then I'll kind of go back anyways, so. So I'm just doing little tapping motions. I'm not like rubbing it or anything, I'm literally just doing tapping motions. If you rub it, that's when your makeup will start coming off. You'll literally rub your makeup off. But when you're using a brush for foundation or concealer, you definitely don't want to rub it. You just want to do light little tapping motions. I used to like using a sponge for this part, but for me personally, I find I like the brush better. So now that we have that done, I'm going to do my contour. Does anybody else's nose start running when you're doing your makeup? Let me know. For some reason, I think it's because I'm looking down and I don't know if that makes it start running or what, or if it's because I'm, dabbing around my nose so much, but it always starts running as soon as I start doing my makeup. It's so annoying. Okay, for contour, I think for contour, I'm going to use this Rare Beauty contour stick in the shade Good Energy. This has been one of my favorites lately. So when I do my contour, I just draw little lines here, and it always looks like a lot. But trust me, once you blend this out, it blends so well. So I'm going to blend this out, and I'll be back. Okay, so I blended out the contour. I actually, for that step, I actually love this e.l.f. It's a liquid bronzer and contour duo brush, but I like to personally use the bigger end of that to blend out my bronzer on my cheeks and like here down my neck, and then I use the smaller side like around my nose, and then I use the bigger side around my forehead too. So I use that Rare Beauty contour on already on my face, and now I want to use this Saie, it's the Sun Melt Fair Bronze. I don't know why I like using this too. I like mixing these, so I just kind of take my brush, dab it in there, and then first I just kind of go in and dab it where I know I'm going to blend it in. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll go back in and blend that. I just do little movements, little tapping movements with it, and then I like to go back in and blend that out. I just like the way these two mixed looks, but if you wanted to just use one, you could definitely do that. Now for a blush, I'm going to use this Patrick Ta, the color is She's Blushing. This is one of my favorite ones. I love this Patrick Ta one because it comes with a cream and a powder, and I love that it has like this little protector over the cream. So I'm going to use this color, She's Blushing, and I'm just going to go in with my blush brush. And I like to just kind of dab it first, and then I'll go back and blend it. I like to kind of always place them first on each side, just so I kind of know if it's the color pigmentation is even on both sides. And then I will go back and blend and see if I want any more. So that's what I like to do personally. You could always kind of blend it in and then go to the next side, but this is just what I find works for me. Okay, so I'm in a really big rush now to go get my daughter, so I did already do my eyebrows, and I set my face with setting powder. Now I'm going back in with a bronzer to kind of go over what I did for my contour. I'm using this Tarte Park Avenue Princess contour. This is one of my favorite powder ones, and I'm just doing this to kind of go back over the creams that I use. I feel like this kind of just sets it better, and it makes it last longer. When you're setting your creams with a powder form, you're kind of like double enforcing it. So that is what I'm doing now. And again, I'm in a really big rush, so it's not gonna look the best as it normally looks, but it'll do. Okay, so that is the contour, bronzer, whatever you want to call it. And now I'm going to go back in with the powder version of the blush that I used. So earlier when I did my blush, I did the cream version of the She's Blushing. So now I'm going to go over that with the powder version. And I saw a trick actually here on TikTok. It said you dab it in your blush first, and then instead of putting it directly on your face, what happens when you do that is it concentrates it in that one area. So you want to kind of prime it on your hand first and then rub it on your face. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I am done with, I guess, the base face, as you would call it. If you want to see the eyes and lips, go to part 2. Thanks.